Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm gonna be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto Was the Ultimate Saiyan. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Prodigy with an unknown bloodline over on Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for your help and support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as Neji and Naruto and Guy and Lee were standing in the clearing, as Guy told them to come at him, as he wanted to see what they were capable of. As Mito was currently at school as she was facing off against Sasuke. Sasuke might be a bit strong, but he was nowhere compared to her. The girl was a living prodigy. Sasuke had his times, but, well, even he knew that she was better. But he wasn't jealous or envy her because she was his friend. Not to mention she snuck out a few scrolls from Naruto's library and gave them to him. As Naruto and Lee and Guy were busy throwing down, no matter what Guy did, Naruto would not give up, neither would Lee. Lee's body eventually gave out though, but his mindset was still trying to get back in the game. Nature seeing that Naruto was trying to defy his fate showed him that he would lose, as they start to clash against Guy. But no matter what they did, Guy was still just stronger than them, even though he was quite surprised about Naruto, who was rather fast and stronger than he expected. But he passed all of them considering that they all fight and did not give up until the bitter end. With that, a couple of months passed, as Team 9 became official. We then skipped to Team 9 being on a mission, with Lee was unconscious and being carried by Naruto, as Neji was carrying a small child, as she was a daughter of a daimyo. When they were attacked, passing through near the land of Hidden Rain by Aoi, and also the Crusher brothers, two B-rank ninjas known for their immense strength, as Naruto stayed behind to fight them. As he fought, he had to allow the others time to get away as he fought the Crusher brothers. The brothers were quite confused as usually, they crushed their opponents without even hesitating, and yet they tried to Naruto but his body just wouldn't break or give out, as they clash. They grabbed on Naruto though as they tried to wring him to pieces, but Naruto, in a burst of rage, erupted. As he was able to demolish both of them, they stood no chance against him. He finally gave out his body that was, because of the rage. When he woke up he was inside the palace, as one of the attendants came to his aid, as the child that he protected was fond of Naruto very well, and she told her father all about him. After that, the group returned back to Konoha, as Hiruzen was quite surprised. He knew that Naruto was strong, but for him to defeat the Crusher brothers was something really insane, as he didn't expect that one bit. The brothers were known for their immense strength. It was because of their lack of knowledge. That is why they were not really any higher rank. They were rather stupid, but their strength was immense, known to be able to crush anyone, bend metals with their hands alone, and yet Naruto defeat them. It was quite shocking. As Hiruzen had some news on Naruto, he found a trainer. There was a monk that was specialized in the art of ki. He was currently to the west of the mountains. As Hiruzen could give Naruto 6 months to try to learn how to understand and control ki better, as Naruto told him that he would think about it, considering that he would have to leave for 6 months, that means leaving Mito and leaving his squad. If that was the case though, Hiruzen had someone that he could replace Naruto with for the time being until he returned. As Naruto went to the academy, as he saw another Hyuga, as she reminded him of Neji, and he really hated Neji. They just didn't get along, as she saw him looking at her as he disrespected her eyes, as Naruto wasn't fond of their Byakugan. She was gonna teach him a lesson for, well, talking badly about their eyes, but Hinata came out along with the rest of them. The girl known as Nere, Hyuga, told Hinata that she was here to bring her home. As Nere wasn't that old, she was about 1 year older than them. So she was around the same age as Naruto, it seems. With that, she went off as Mito rushed up Naruto and hugged him, as he told her there was something he wanted to talk to her about. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. So this will be in this new episode. We begin this new episode at the academy. As Mito was looking through the window, Haruka was going on about one of his lectures. In truth, she didn't need to be here, because all that he was talking about she already knew it. She had studied the history of Konoha in the Hokage's personal library, so she knew a lot more than Haruka, to be exact. Yes, he was a teacher and he had knowledge, but she didn't really want to brag, but she studied straight from a source. For her entire life mostly. But she didn't want to brag. Her mind was like a machine able to store away information, as he was able to just keep it perfectly. She had a photographic memory. But at the moment though, she was sad. It has been a good month since her brother left the village. When she heard that he was gonna leave to train, she was upset. She never spent so much time with her brother before. He was her best friend, and her brother. And she was upset by this. He told her he would miss her as well. And he didn't seem like he really wanted to go. So she swallowed all of her feelings and told him to go. She knew that by doing this he would only get stronger. And if she allowed her feelings to make him, well, hold himself back, she would never forgive herself. After all, she was training to become a ninja and become strong as him. So who was she to hold him back? So she told him to go and train as hard as possible. They talked over it after getting some ramen. His team had escorted him out there and they had came back. She spoke to the members of his team. They said that he'd make it there safely. And he had his trainer Monk. She wasn't sure who it was though, after all she never met the man before. She had asked Gigi who was going to be on his team for replacement, as Hiruzen said that he would take care of it. But once Naruto was back, they would put things back into perspective, but for now, Team 9 will still be active, with another member filling the slot. And it was going to be another Hyuga. As, well, Mito wasn't so psyched about that when her brother come back. He was gonna be a bit upset. He always hated the Hyugas. She figured that it was because of Neji. Hinata was sweet and her friend, but Neji was a complete ass, acting like he's better than everyone else, and always talking about this fate nonsense. He also treated Hinata badly. She huffed. Mito, as she turned her head towards Haruka who was speaking. Can you answer the question, he said, knowing that she wasn't paying attention. She looked at the board for a mere second before giving the proper answer. That's correct, Haruka said. As she then turned back towards the window, looking quite bored as Sasuke looked over to her. She was missing her brother. He supposed he can cheer her up later on. After all, she's always been there for him. Meanwhile, out in the far mountains, a distance away from Konoha, it had taken weeks to get here. It was only because Guy's team was incredibly fast. That was the only reason why they got here so quickly in the first place. Usually, it was supposed to take a month and a half, but it only took them 2 weeks and a couple of days, because they were fast, as they barely rest. It seems that Naruto was just bursting with energy most of the times. When Guy wondered if he would ever get exhausted, his stamina was really something to marvel at. Guy was sure if Naruto got his ki under control, he would be unstoppable. Guy had saw something when Naruto was facing off against Crusher Brothers. When he arrived just in time, before Naruto passed out, he saw this aura. This power just resonating from Naruto. Before Naruto passed out, somehow Guy could feel like it was not really complete. There was something lacking, due to his inexperience in controlling his ki. That was probably the fault here. So Guy was sure by the time Naruto returned, he would be a true beast. Lee had said his goodbyes, him and Guy in tears, wishing him luck. Neji had merely went silent. Guy really wanted to fix that problem. Lee tried to get along with Neji, but Neji didn't want that at all, he just didn't care. And Lee was happy going, he wasn't a bad person to really turn you down even if you say something bad to him. He never let words put him down. And Naruto was a bit arrogant as well. He didn't really let anyone put him down, unlike Lee. He would curse you back or say something back to you. So that was a problem that guy had, as they didn't really have the team work in progress going at all. But he was sure that Naruto would gain some knowledge from a wise monk, and he would try to pound the knowledge into Neji's head to be a better teammate. At the moment though, out in a massive clearing, something happened here given that the place was wide open. All the trees that were once in the area was gone. The place was reduced to nothing but rubble. The ground was trembling as something was coming. A man who was just sitting down on a log. There was a couple of items in front of him. Items that looked to be, well, household items. Chairs, table, and a few necessities, but nothing else and nothing more. The man had a bald head, a white mustache and beard, as he was wearing a normal monk robe, and he had a rather large turtle shell on his back. There was a reason for him wearing that. He had small black eyes, but he always kept them close, so you couldn't really see the pupils. Behind him was a lot of wood, not firewood, as they were all cut in different shapes and sizes. The place was trembling because of what was coming, as the man calmly turned on the log to see a tree that was large as a motel. It's a small motel. It was wide as well, almost swallowing the entire area, and yet the small boy was carrying it with ease. As Naruto came over, as he propped down the thing shook the entire place the moment it made contact with the ground. As Naruto jumped over it and landed in front of the man. "Hey, Master Roshi, you think that will be enough?" said Naruto. As the man now known as Master Roshi looked toward the large piece of tree. "Where did you find this?" he said. "There's a whole bunch of them far out," said Naruto. "This mountain ridge stretched farther than I thought. These trees are a lot out there." As Master Roshi looked over the large tree. "I think that will be more than enough," he said. "Alright then," said Naruto, as he raised his fist. With a single punch he cleaved it in half. As Master Roshi looked towards the boy. Well, Naruto was gonna rebuild his house, seeing that he was the reason why it was destroyed in the first place. Flashback. Naruto just said goodbye to Team Guy. As he found the house, it was rather strange for someone to be living out here by themselves. But he was a monk. Monks usually stay by themselves when they were on their privilege. Something like that, that is what they call it. They wander the world, searching and helping who they can. Sir Toby told him that the man's name was Master Roshi. Sir Toby never really met him before, as the head monk was the one that told him about him. The head monk has been able to get a message out to him, to tell him about Naruto. As Master Roshi was quite intrigued to find out someone could use ki and utilize it in the ways that he, well, never thought was possible. He was quite curious to see this for himself. At the moment, before Naruto could enter the house, the door opened, as Naruto saw the bald man step outside. He had a white beard and a mustache, white eyebrows, as he was looking rather calm. As Naruto saw there was a turtle shell on his back. "You're Master Roshi," said Naruto. "Yes, that would be right. And I presume that you are Naruto." As Naruto nodded, as Master Roshi stepped around Naruto and looked over him. As he quirked the eyebrow and as he looked over Naruto, an intriguing look came on his face. "This is surprising," he said. "What is?" said Naruto as he followed the man with his gaze. "Through all my years on this planet, I've never seen someone able to harness ki as you do. Your body is somehow flush with it." "Wait, you can see ki?" said Naruto. "Yes, I've trained my senses to pick up on ki." "Tell me, do you know what it is?" Master Roshi asks. "Well, I only saw it in the book, but the description was quite vague." "It is life energy, right? That is produced in the body." As Master Roshi gave a nod. "Yes, but there is more to it. It is known as latent energy, or fighting power. which translates to life energy. This force is a tangible energy inside every living being. Almost everyone can produce ki, but most is unable to use a large quantity, as it will burn them out really quickly, and use too much could result in their death. But that doesn't seem to be the case with you. By drawing that ki out, the individual is able to manipulate it and use it outside of the body. It can be used in many different ways and many different techniques. Everyone has a physical limit to their body, so it is necessary to increase one's ki and overcome the barrier, and yours are currently on the bridge of overcoming that. The more concentrated the mass of energy is, the more time the user has to draw it out and use it. You can use the ki that is inside of you to increase your speed, strength, and endurance. Normally though, the more the ki is released, the harder it is to control. That is why ki control is important. You have to maintain balance between the mind and spirit and body to properly utilize this energy. At the moment though, you are not balanced one bit. What do you mean? Said Naruto. Can you produce the ki from your body? Asked Master Roshi. Yeah, but would you mind showing me? He said, as Naruto pointed his hand towards one of the trees over to the side. And Master Roshi felt a surge. The tree was obliterated. The force just spread out and obliterated the tree. Seems I was correct, said Master Roshi as he looked over Naruto. Wait, what do you mean? Said Naruto. Your spirit and your body are not complete. You are lacking the combining element of your mind. You are merely projecting your ki, not releasing it. It seems you're a lot stronger than I thought. What do you mean? Said Naruto. Well, you're off balance at the moment. You need to be able to combine the spirit, the mind, and the body into one for you to properly utilize ki. Before we get into anything, I want you to meditate. Meditate? Have you ever done that before? Not really, said Naruto. Well then, follow me, the man said as he sat down. Naruto was surprised how easy this was going. Well, monks were always nice people, as Naruto sat down. As he watches, the man took a deep breath as he followed. Now, focus on your spirit, the mind, and the body. Look for that warm rush of energy inside of you, in the center, and bring it out. But do not bring it to the surface. Connect it with the body and the mind. Utilize it. Enhance it. As Naruto was sitting there, he wasn't sure what the man was going on about, but he would try his best. As he focused, he wasn't used to things like these, like sitting still. He always had a problem with staying in one place. He always used to just brawl. But if this could help him, why would he not try? So he remained quiet. It was then that he started to see things. What the hell? Naruto was sure that his eyes were closed, yet he was seeing things. As he saw this strange orb just floating. It was a rush of blue energy. It was just floating there. Not doing anything else, it was just floating. Back on the outside, Master Roshi started to feel the place shaking a bit. As he looked towards the boy, his eyes were straining on the life energy that was being exerted, the ki, releasing from Naruto's body. Steam started to release from Naruto's hands. As the ground started to crack a bit underneath him, Master Roshi was astonished. Never in his years of living has he seen someone able to produce ki like this. This boy was something else. This wasn't supposed to be possible. Usually, one couldn't do this without killing themselves. Ki and chakra are two different things completely. But it seems that Naruto did not possess an ounce of chakra yet. His body was flush with life energy. So much so that it could be visible, as it started to come around Naruto in a white glow. Back in Naruto's mind as he reached out towards the orb. Yet something stopped him, a barrier. He tried to break through, but no matter what he did, it would not break. He started to get frustrated. That is when all hell broke loose. Master Roshi had to leap away, as Naruto was not balancing it properly. Naruto, stop it, he said, as he called out to him. The ground cratered. the trees blew. The ground was being rooted apart. A massive wind took over the area as trees started to sail. One of them crashed right through his house as a ball of destructive ki radiated from Naruto's body. Roshi was forced to leap away as everything was obliterated. That is a side effect of not having proper ki control. He wanted for Naruto to access the ki, but Naruto was going too far. All of a sudden, Roshi moved as he dodged several trees and moved towards Naruto, who was picking himself off the ground. His body was literally levitating and his eyes were closed. He was in a trance, he couldn't hear him. He flashed behind Naruto in a burst of speed that didn't seem possible for an old man his age, as he chopped Naruto in the back of the neck. As Naruto dropped as he was out clean, Roshi looked over the place. Everything was destroyed. In the flashback, as Naruto started to break the massive tree apart, as he promised that he'd rebuild the house for him, and he was currently doing that before they got to their training, so he was working quick. It wasn't too hard. He didn't know what happened, but after he came in contact with his ki, it seems, his strength seemed to have tripled. Usually, carrying a tree like this would cause him a bit of a problem, but now, it was lighter than expected. And his body felt so lighter, to be exact, like he had released some weight. But he looked the exact same way, as Master Roshi told him that he was intertwining with his ki. At first, it was completely off balance, so much so that it suppressed him, as Naruto never expected that. Time skip. 3 weeks pass. With the help of Master Roshi, Naruto was able to build a sizable house. Right now the rain was pouring as Master Roshi stood there. The boy was something else. His determination never ceased to amaze him. When he heard from the head monk that there was a boy that could produce ki in unnatural ways, he was surprised, as he really wanted to meet this kid. And now he was here he was. And he was unnatural. He was getting stronger by the day, as Master Roshi looked up towards one of the far hills. Up on the hill, as Naruto had a massive turtle shell on his back, he had asked Master Roshi what it was for, as it was weight training. The shell was heavy. Heavier than Naruto expected, considering that it looked so light, and Master Roshi was lugging it around all day, and he didn't really bother him. But that wasn't the only thing that was weighing Naruto down. Ropes. 3 on each legs. Each of them had a massive boulder. As Naruto was crawling up the hill, just his hands, as he used his hands to climb up the hill. He has been doing a lot of strenuous work lately. From swimming in the ocean, off into the distance, with weights on him. From physical exercises, pull-ups, push-ups. Even in the rain, Naruto did not give up. His body was becoming acclimated to the climate. Time skip. 2 months had passed. 2 months of progress, as Naruto was a lot stronger now. But now he was diving into the spiritual side. He has already been pushing himself on the physical side. As he was sitting down, this time there was no explosion of ki or anything, as Naruto was calm. His eyes were closed, as he was once again in that strange place. He reached up with his hand, touched the barrier. This time he moved his hand away, and he calmed his breathing. Steady deep breaths. The ki started to come to him. A spiritual form of him extended from his body and reached out and gripped it, connecting his mind, body, and spirit with his ki. As Naruto felt the energy flooded inside of his body, he gritted his teeth as he felt the energy trying to pour out, but he pushed it down. It would not be good to destroy the house once again. He had to learn how to control it. As Naruto opened his eyes, there was a bit of electricity around him, but it was gone once he stood up. Master Roshi clapped. Impressive. It seems you were able to stabilize your ki. I really did, said Naruto. Well, I didn't think it would take you much longer, Master Roshi said. You are a natural at this. You really think so, Sensei, said Naruto as he scratched back his head. As Master Roshi chuckled. A good kid. He had sat down and spoke to Naruto. After all, they were the only ones out here. He wanted to protect his sister and the ones that he loved. Well, that mostly included his sister. And not to mention the old man that raised him. As Naruto told him about losing his parents. A very tragic story that sometimes still weigh heavy on the boy's heart. He lost his parents at a young age. He still remembered them though. He knew that he was adopted, but they loved him. They loved him despite everything. And Naruto loved him as well. As he never think about his biological parents because Minato and Kushina were his real parents to him. Okay, said Master Roshi. You can feel it coursing through your veins. Let's try on bringing it out, he said. Properly this time. Watch me, Naruto. I want you to harness that energy and bring it forward. He held his hand together like a dome. As Naruto watched intriguingly, the dust picked up around them. The trees started to rattle a bit. As Naruto watched a bright ball of light appear in Roshi's hand. Whoa, said Naruto. The key then disappeared. As Naruto sat down on the ground. Now remember to focus. Remember to keep calm and steady. And bring it out slowly. As Naruto did as he was told. Slowly but surely the key started to come to life. Until a small ball was in Naruto's palm. I did, he said. That you did, my boy, said Roshi, as he patted Naruto in the head. Now let's work on getting you better control. As Roshi could see that this was not what Naruto could do. Naruto had so much ki. He could produce it at a large rate, but he just lacked the control. That is what they were going to work on right now. Time skip. At Konoha, Guy was currently watching his team practice. With the way things are right now, they weren't ready for the Chunin exams. They weren't ready at all. It wasn't being held at Konoha this year. It was being held at Kumo. And considering how things are right now, he was going to take his team there. No, he wasn't. He was going to wait until the Konoha Chunin exams came around for them to participate. As he looked at the new member of his team, her name was Neri Hyuga. She was a member of the main branch. Guy had thought that it would be different, considering that she and Neji were from the same clan. But he knew about the dislike between certain members, main and branch family. The family was split so badly that there was two parts, main and branch. And the branch members were under, well, orders to serve the main members. This girl was surprisingly calm. Well, she did not actively provoke things, but she did get really annoyed really quickly. Whenever he and Lee spoke about their youth, it annoyed her to no end. Neji seemed rather quiet ever since she joined the team. Right now they were sparring. He saw that Neji was not fully utilizing everything that he possessed to take her down. But Guy was not sure that she was really fighting either. As he watches they trade blow for blows. Lee was on the ground unconscious next to him. The both of them had went towards it rather hectically, considering that training ground was destroyed. It made him miss Naruto, as he also enjoyed training with Naruto as well, as he wondered how stronger he has gotten. When he returned they will have a spar, like none other. Over towards the two Hyugas as they trade blows. Neji kept his face stern. This girl was a part of the main family, but she wasn't really liked much. Her father was a branch member, but her mother was a main member. Utilizing her rights, her mother had got her to place on the main side. And when the clan was angry about that because of the status of her father, and believed that she should also join them, her mother had completely shunned her father like it was nothing. The Hyugas were stern, but that was just cold. Most say that she did for her daughter, but it didn't seem that way, and Neri knew otherwise. Secretly, she was being trained to become the next clan head. Hayashi had two daughters, Hanabi and Hinata. Hinata was a bit shy. She never truly put in the effort to really hurt anyone. The clan did not like that, and Hanabi was too young. They wanted someone stern, ruthless. That is why they had Neri accepted into the fold. Despite her mother being one of them, she still possessed the blood of her father, making her half. Despite being from the same clan, it was ridiculous. The clan heads were really stern about this. Her mother had agreed to their terms. The clan was planning to place her as clan head, someone that they could control once Hayashi was evicted from his seat. His daughters are not fitting the criteria, and they wanted someone better. And with her being under their control, the council will have more power to do as they please. That is a role that Neri was training for. But in order to become a clan head, you have to at least be a Jonin first. She had been privately trained in the beginning by her clan. She really exited the clan grounds. Just recently she was given a bit of freedom. Now that she was on this team, she wasn't used to certain different mannerism. That is why she finds it so annoying with Lee and Guy. Well, they were annoying a bit sometimes, but still. At least she was free for now. Neji wasn't so sure about the entire situation as he wasn't knowing about the part where they want her to be clan head. The girl had never spoken to him. He figured like she was like the other members. Look at him with disdain because she was a main member. But her eyes did not show that, nor did they show concern or pity. She just didn't seem to really care much about him. A vicious strike knocked him from his thoughts. As she immobilized his hand, she delivers several palm strikes to his stomach. As she thrusts a hit in his chest, so violently Neji crashed down into the ground. As he spat out spit and blood, she leaped forward as Guy caught her hand, stopping her, inches away from Neji's face. "That's enough," he said. "You're going a bit too hard there," said Guy. He should have been able to count lies and block that attack. But I suppose he was not ready, she said, her face showing indifference. Despite everything, she was a proud Hyuga. Guy tried to help up Neji, but he scoffed to himself and picked himself up and walked off. As Guy sighed, things did not get better, it was just getting worse. Time skip. As Naruto was sitting on top of the highest mountain, as the sunrise hit him, basking him in its glow. He was not wearing a shirt, just black pants. He wasn't wearing the shell on his back either, as he just sat there, meditating. It has been a couple of months. Master Roshi was something else. Naruto never expected the man to be that strong. He was able to utilize ki to enhance his body to a ridiculous degree. Naruto was sure that he could fight with Guy, one-on-one, and maybe even win. He never thought ki was so ridiculous or powerful. Naruto had tried to spar with him, and the man was evading all of his attacks. So he had told him to go all out and see where he was. Master Roshi was a monk. Despite everything, he never fought for anything. Despite understanding the basics of ki and being able to produce it to enhance his body, he never used it to harm people. He would more use it to get away from a situation that did not favor him. And he was fast, incredibly so. The man had demolished Naruto. A well-placed strikes here and there as Naruto found himself completely immobilized. When he had woken up, the man had apologized for going too hard on him. But that just strengthened Naruto's vigor. Master Roshi had noticed something about Naruto. Every time he got knocked down, he seemed just to get a lot stronger. He didn't know what was that, but it seems to be helping quite a lot. It has been 4 months since he has been here, and he has progressed a lot. Master Roshi said that he was natural at controlling his ki. He just had to keep the exercises going. As Naruto's eyes snapped open, he stood up. He then jumped straight down. On his way down, he kept a calm, cool face. He did not try to stop his fall, as he flooded his body with his energy. The moment his feet touched the ground, a massive crater spread wide, as his feet broke into the ground. As Naruto looked at his legs and shook them, no pain. As this was incredible as he bounced on the wall, bursting off with incredible speed. He ran 10 laps around the giant mountain, circling it, within minutes. And the thing was large, extremely so. As he climbed up the mountain with one hand, no longer needing his two hands, he pressed his legs down the ground as he bent his knees and shot off. As he jumped halfway up the mountain with a single jump, before crashing to the side as he held on. This was just incredible. As he went on top of the mountain, as Naruto started to channel the ki inside of him, as he felt a primal roar coming up, so he released it. As he roared, Master Roshi exited his house as he looked up towards the mountain top. The sunlight and Naruto figure make him look like some deity standing up there, like some kind of god. As Naruto released a primal scream, the release is ki outwards, causing the place to tremble, the earth quake, the mountain crack. Yet he kept it controlled. He was able to utilize his control so it wouldn't go overboard. But if not, this place would be reduced to rumble and ashes. He then reached out as he held out his hand. The engine formed into a white ball. As Naruto fired it decimated a part of the mountain, leaving a gaping hole in it. Naruto landed and checked over his work, as that brought a small smile to his face. He was getting a lot stronger as he clenched his fists, as he wondered how Mito was doing. At Konoha, Mito was lying in a training ground, as beside her was Hinata. Hinata seemed exhausted, as sweat was all over her clothing and her face. "Thank you once again," Hinata said. "Come on, Hinata, we're friends. You don't have to thank me for helping you." As Hinata merely nodded. They were out here practicing. Hinata was always self-conscious about training in front of her family, because their eyes always seemed to just give her a disapproving gaze. So she always found a place that she could train by herself, where she wouldn't be spotted by them. And she'd asked for Mito's aid in this. Mito had brought her to the private training ground, and she helped her train. Hinata was strong, but she just lacked self-confidence to really do anything about it. And that is what Mito was trying to bring out of her. She lacked the drive, as she was afraid of those eyes of her family. Years of being neglected by their words, their eyes, their stares. It can really break a person down. As Mito was there to help her with that though. Training with her friends, Sasuke and Hinata cleared her mind, as she wondered how her brother was doing. She hadn't heard anything, neither has Harrison, but he was sure that Naruto was just fine. If there was anyone as resilient, it was him. And besides, they wouldn't have any contact with him. There was no way that they could contact him without going out there herself. She just had to wait 2 more months, and then she would see her brother again, as she couldn't wait. Time skip. 2 months later. "So you're gonna wander the entire world, huh?" said Naruto. As Master Roshi nodded. "I'm confused," said Naruto. "I mean, you're old. But what does that have to do with anything?" he asked. "Well, why haven't you seen the entire world yet?" "Well, Naruto, I haven't told you this, but I was quite a person in my days, my younger days. Going around enjoying life, doing as I please. I was not really a good person, to be exact." "Not a good person?" said Naruto. "What do you mean by that?" "Well, I wasn't from any village. My parents were traveling civilians. They own caravans, a couple of them, where they went to marketing different villages, and I traveled all around. I never did told you about my life." "Sit down," he says. Naruto sat beside him. "When I was younger, I lost my parents as well. At the age of 6 years old. I only knew my mother and father, never had any other relatives. I went around the world, doing as I could to get by. I wasn't sure where I was when I woken up. You see, we had passed through a rather dangerous area, and there was an explosive. The sight was rather goring to say when I woken up. I wasn't injured though because my parents had used their body to shield me. As Naruto saw the faraway look in the man's eyes, something I'm grateful for them till this day. From that day on, I decided to fend for only myself, caring about only myself because I've lost my parents. And I became quite the rebellion person back then, doing jobs when I became older. I wanted to find a way to become stronger. As I said, my parents were civilians. We never understood the art of chakra. But I managed to find this scroll one day. Something about ki. The first thing I saw was enhanced strength. So I wonder what it was. I tried to replicate it, but the first few times it was a failure. It went on like that for years. I didn't even notice that I started to understand and dive more into the art. Stepping out of my rebellion stage, I realized I became, well, up in the age. But at least I was able to finally utilize ki. That is why I'm so surprised that you can use this much at your age. I was able to produce as much to keep me going. But my rebellion stage had long been over. I had wandered past a nearby shrine where I met a young monk. I had wondered if monks knew how to replicate ki as well. Because I was wondering if I had understood it completely, because I had never found any other information regarding the subject. The monks had scrolls on it, but none of them were able to replicate it. It seems like it was a rather difficult art. They were kindly enough to let me stay, even let me teach a few how to produce it. But their bodies were just not right enough to produce as much, and it weakened them severely. So like that, after teaching and wondering, I started my privilege, where I wander the world. I always loved traveling with my parents, so I figure I should keep it up as well. It was always a sight, going everywhere I can, and helping who I can as well. My parents are rather nice people, and there's always something about helping people that is in need. He said that all smiles. He patted Naruto in the head. Now, I want to talk about that technique of yours. What about it? Said Naruto. Promise me that you won't at least attempt it until you fully utilize every aspect of what to do about it. It is rather dangerous, and I fear that if you overuse it, you might die. Really? Said Naruto. Yes. Given what it does to your body, I believe so. Alright then, said Naruto. I promise I won't use it until I fully learn how to completely utilize it. Master Roshi nodded. We still have a week left to go. There's something I was planning on teaching you. Seeing your fast progress, I left it off because you needed the help for the ki control and all the other aspect of ki. There's a technique I wish to show you. As Naruto's eyes light up at that. Time skip. As Naruto was making his way through the bushes, as he was heading back to Konoha, as his time was up, the man had went off to travel the world, as he said that they will meet again, and Naruto was sure that they will, as he had thanked him for everything. As Naruto had something on his back, something that Master Roshi had gave him. A rather unique item. It was a staff. It could extend at ridiculous degrees. As Naruto was wearing some new clothing that Master Roshi had got for him. He was wearing orange arm guards. They were weighted. He had on black boots that were weighted as well. His black pants, a bit baggy, they were also weighted. He had on a black shirt with orange stripes running down the back, as Master Roshi's sign was on the front of it, showing that he was a student of him. As Master Roshi had took it to call himself Naruto Sensei, after Naruto kept on calling him Sensei, as he wasn't against it either. As the staff was a gift from Master Roshi, as Naruto didn't have anything to give him, but the man told him that it was fine. As Naruto told him when he meet him again, he will introduce him to Mito, as Master Roshi liked that a lot. He was currently making his way. He was far up the hills. As he was making his way through the bushes heading back to Konoha, he knew the way. He had learned many things from Master Roshi, but there were still a couple of things that he had to continue training on. But he was sure that he could get all of his, training down. As he made his way hopping from tree branch to tree branch, Hiruzen was supposed to send out a group after the 6 months was up. But Naruto figured that he would go by himself. It would be like a surprise of coming back home. He knew the way, so what's the bother sending out someone to get him? And he wanted to surprise everyone, as he wondered how Mito and Team Guy was doing, as he hopped from tree branch to tree branch. It was then that he saw a spark of lightning, as he had to stop immediately. The trees in front of him was eradicated. As Naruto blinked in confusion, his ears picked up something. As he looked around, this was not aimed towards him, as he heard fighting going on. He heard a scream. The next thing he knew, someone was sent sailing as he crashed into a tree. As Naruto looked over to see that it was a girl. She had blonde hair. She seemed to be around his age. She had blue eyes. Naruto was not wearing his headband. He had stored away along with his belongings that was in his backpack. As he slowly looked over towards a girl who was weakly picking herself up. She had a blade clutched in her hand. Someone came dropping down towards her as she blocked the strike. She parried the strike before lashing out with a vicious punch to the man's stomach, but he grabbed her arm. He twisted and he launched her as she crashed to another tree. "Is that all you got?" he said. "I'm sure that your friends are dead by now. My companions must have rendered them to shreds. But don't worry, I'll give them all a proper burial." As the girl seemed to smile at that. Laughing? Well, I suppose you can laugh in the face of your death. There's nothing wrong in being afraid. "Oh, that's not why I'm laughing," she said. "It's because of your stupid statement. My friends will be here in no time. Don't think that your little weak allies could take them down. You have no idea what you're up against. Well, if they're as weak as you," the man said, "I doubt that they will stand a chance." "Oh, you'll see," she said. "Even on your dying breath, you still think that you can win." The girl panted. She was separated from her team, and if they didn't get here soon, she was gonna die. The man raised his blade in the sky. "Well then, let me lay you to rest." As Naruto watches the man raise the two blades in the heaven, before dropping them, a streak of lightning exploded from the tip. The girl's eyes went wide, but before she could do anything, someone flashed in front of her. As Naruto held out his hand, a bright golden beam dispersed the lightning attack. The man had to move as the trees were obliterated. As he stood there calmly. "Huh? Who the hell are you?" the man said. "Sorry, where are my manners?" As Naruto looked at the man, he seemed to be a bit crazy, as he was a bit twitchy. "My name is Riga, former swordsman of Kirin. After all, it's always polite to introduce yourself to people that you're gonna eventually kill." "Get out of here." As Naruto turned to look toward the girl. "I don't know who you are, but if you don't, you will die. This man is out of your league, brat." As Naruto looked towards her. "You know, you're not that much older than me," he said. As the girl blinked at that. As Naruto noticed her headband. As he's seen that before in a book. It was one of the main villages. "Kumo," said Naruto. She narrowed her eyes at him. "Who are you?" she said. "Just a passing by stranger," said Naruto. As he remembered what Roshi said, he figured that he should help the girl. As Naruto turned his head, "I'm judging that you're the, problem in this situation." "Problem?" said Riga, as he chuckled a bit. "Well, you could say that." "Well, yes, I am." "So, are you gonna go along your way, or are you gonna force me to give you a funeral as well?" "Well, I can't allow you to hurt her," said Naruto. "Think I'll take that route, by staying." "Is that so? Well, you sign your life off to me, that is." "Hold on," said Naruto, as he remembered Mito telling him something about the swordsman of Kirin. She was always on about wanting a blade to practice kinjutsu and she spoke about it. You're one of those fancy swordsmen from Kira, right? I believe I said that, yes. What rank are you, Naruto asks. My rank? Why so curious? Oh, I'm just asking, said Naruto. Well, if you must know, it's A. Are you afraid now? No, said Naruto. It's just, I recently fought 2B ranks, and I want to see how much stronger I've gotten. As the place started to gently shake, as a cocky smile came on Naruto's lips. There it was again, the instinct to fight. He didn't know what it was, but whenever the opportunity came to fight came to his mind, there was a rush. He really enjoyed a good brawl. As Riga snarled like that, I don't know who you are, Brett, but why don't I put an end to that miserable life of yours? As Naruto smirked. Bring it, he said. But guys, if you ain't subscribed right here, if you want the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications posted. But guys, I'm off now, see you guys soon. Peace.